Hi guys, my name is Kendall Lopez. I'm a pro makeup artist and I want to show you guys what I got in my glam bag this month. There were so many beautiful products to create this very minimal, dewy look with a pop of pastel color on the eyes. Let's get into it! We're going to start off with our eye makeup, and to kick this off, I want to use a very fair shade of concealer just to prime the eyelids. This is going to give us a nice clean canvas to lay down some pastel eyeshadow. We're using this fair shade of concealer to really help the pastel color pop on top of it. If you were to use your normal concealer, sometimes it can be a little bit too warm and take away from the brightness of your pastel eyeshadow you're laying on top. We're just going to apply some of that fair shade of concealer on top of my eyelids, and you want to keep it central to where you're going to be putting the pastel shade on top. And that's the look. I'm totally kidding. And now we're going to blend this out just to create a nice even base. You just want to make sure you're using something that has a very soft buffing edge, so almost like a concealer brush would be perfect for this. And just blending out the edges. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure a lot of that lighter shade is really focused on your eyelid and kind of transition it in the outer corners of your eyes so you don't have a harsh line of fair concealer on your eyelid. Like so. Next up, we're going to take a little bit of translucent powder to set this eyelid. This is just going to make sure we don't have any creasing with our eyeshadow afterwards. And I'm taking a pretty dense, fluffy little eye brush, and we're just going to pack this translucent powder all over the eyelid, all the way up to the brow bone. This is also what you can do instead of priming your eyelids, and especially when we're using a fairer shade or something of a different pigment, it's more useful to use a translucent powder to set your eyes as opposed to a primer. And we are ready for pastel eyeshadow. I got this YC Collection eyeshadow palette in my glam bag this month, and it is so beautiful. I'm really feeling drawn towards these minty and green colors, especially for the new year. I want to incorporate some more color to my brown eyes. So first we're going to take this top corner shade that's more of a minty pastel color like I mentioned, and we're going to disperse this all over the eyelid. And don't be afraid to jump into some color. You can incorporate this in so many different ways in your eye look. For today, I'm going to be using this all over my eyelid, but if you're a little more novice and want to warm yourself up to color, you can jump in and use it in the inner corner of your eye, or as another alternative, use it as a winged shadow liner. I packed a good amount of that mint eyeshadow color into my brush, and using a tapping motion, we're going to pack this all over the base of our eyelid. And I'm just going all over from the inner corner to the outer corner. And don't be afraid to double dip into this. You want to make it as pigmented as possible. Our fair concealer in the background really helps this pop out. I'm going to go in with about 3 coats of this eyeshadow before I start blending it into the upper corner of my eyebrow. So we've got a nice minty base on one eye, and we're going to do the same on the other now. And you can truly put as many layers as you see fit. I'm probably going to do about 3 to 4 coats of this eyeshadow before we start blending into the crease. So now we're going to do a little bit of blending into the crease, so I'm just picking up a little bit more of that pastel shade, and you're going to blend as you typically would with any other eyeshadow, so going up into the inner corner of that crease here, and then slowly tapering it out into the outer corner of your eye. And I still want to keep this pretty central to the eyelid, just so that you really have that focus of pastel color and it doesn't look too muddy on the brow bone. So try to leave a little bit of space open on the brow bone, just so you have some definition between your pastel shade and your eyebrow bone. And same thing on the other side. So just using like a moderate amount of pressure here. You don't want to do a pretty heavy hand, or else you might end up with a little bit of patching of the color. And just keeping a light hand, especially on the outer corner of the eye, to make sure you have good blendability. And if you're a little bit heavy-handed, that's totally fine. I would highly recommend picking up a powder puff, just to help stabilize your hand when you are applying. And the good thing about this too is you won't crease or mess up any of your foundation. This is just going to sit very lightly on your skin and also allow you to have a lighter hand and allow you for some more control when it comes to applying this eyeshadow. If you want to add a little bit more depth to the eye, we can go in with the same family of green tones that has a little bit of a deeper color to it. This is going to allow us to build almost a contour on the eye. So we're going to go into that inner corner like we did initially, and I'm using the lightest touch possible just so we don't add too much depth. And the same thing in that outer corner of the eye right under the brow bone. And you're going to give yourself a very natural contour crease color with this same family of tones. We're going to go in with a little bit of a gel liner. These are so awesome to use to add a little bit of dimension to the waterline. This specific liner is from What's Up Beauty. This is their Wind Glider Gel Eyeliner Pencil. And after taking a closer look, I was really surprised to see that this is infused with biotin and vitamin B5 that's going to help your lashes grow. So bonus points for the What's Up Beauty team. Thank you guys. We're gonna twist this up and it's already pre-sharpened, which is amazing. And I wanna show you guys one of my favorite tips that I love to do on myself and my clients as well. And this is tight lining the eye. It's a little intimidating at first, so please bear with me. We're gonna go under the lash line to add some more dimension to the lash line. You're gonna wanna hold your mirror underneath your eye and you're gonna open your eyes as wide as possible. It's gonna look a little scary on application, but what we're gonna do is go into the waterline underneath the lash line. And for convenience, if you have like something that's not a handheld mirror, you can also put this down, lift up your eye so you can get a better view of that waterline. This is just gonna add some natural depth without drawing eyeliner on top of the eyelid. And you can totally blink during this process. The good thing about applying underneath the lash line is it won't get messed up. It looks so scary, but look at the depth difference between this eye and this eye. Especially when we apply our mascara, you're gonna notice a huge difference between tight lining and applying eyeliner on top of the eyelid. We're gonna go in on the other eye now, and one thing I also wanna mention is that tight lining is gonna make your lash line look fuller. It's gonna make your lashes appear that they have more volume than to the naked eye. And back in with our application. I personally just close my eye all the way and pray for the best. And this is definitely going to come more natural to you once you learn how to tight line. After that initial application, you'll be like, you know what, easy peasy, I'm just going to close my eye and get it all in there. I went ahead and applied some mascara, and this is just gonna complete the full eye look. I didn't want to put anything on the bottom just because I really want some emphasis on the top of my eyelid towards the pastel eyeshadow. Now I want to add a little bit of extra color to my face, so we're gonna go in with a little bit of blush and also a blush highlighter. We're gonna go in with a little bit of powder blush first, and I want to use this as a base before we put our more shimmery blush on top of this. So I'm using a more rosy tone. I really like to put it on the round part of my cheek, so the apple down here, and also blending a little bit into my concealer area. This is just gonna give you that really seamless transition between your cheek and your eye area. Perfect, and I feel like this tone really complements the pastel eyes. And we're gonna do the same on the other side. I always like to tap out the excess. It just feels natural for me to do so. It's not necessary. And we're gonna do the same thing over here, just kind of hugging the corner of the cheek and also the highest part that meets the corner of our eye. And I definitely have blush blindness, so if you do too, that's okay. Perfect. And then I always like to give a little kiss on my nose and also my forehead. I'm telling you, the blush blindness is real, but it also gives you a more unison appearance of blush, so it's not just like, hey cheeks. Next up, we're going in with the Ciate London Longwear Skin Brightening Blush. I'm using the shade Perfect Match just because it really pairs well with the rosy blush I have on. And I'm just gonna take a pretty generous sweep of this off the top. And this looks like a baked blush, which I really love because it looks a little bit more natural on the skin finish. So just picking up some here, and with this one, I would actually recommend tapping it out just to make sure you don't have too much product on your brush. So for this, we're not going to take it down by the apple of the cheek. We're actually going to apply it on the highest part of the cheek like you would a 2016 highlighter. So we're going to round this out up here. And this is just going to add a little bit of luminosity to our cheek and also really catch the highest part of the cheekbone in the sunlight. And before we apply our Longwear Skin Brightening Blush, I'm going to spray a little bit of setting spray all over my face so it really gets a good dewy finish before we put that blush on. You're gonna notice I'm very generous with my setting spray. I like my skin to be almost completely moist, just to know that everything is gonna be perfectly dewy across the board. I'm gonna give it about 30 seconds just to adhere to my skin, and this is also gonna melt all of your products together, so your powder products and your liquid products will marry. And I would say now is about the perfect time to go in with your Ciate London blush. We're gonna take it up here, just where the top of the cheekbone meets the corner of the eye. And I'm also going to take it up to my temple just for a little extra dew. I'm going to take this Shayna B Miami lipstick in Hibiscus Island to really complement the cheek color. It's a little bit more of like a peachy tone, which I think is going to pair very well with our cheek here without taking away from the pastel eye. So I'm just going to apply a little bit on the bottom of my lip and fold it into the top because I really want to focus the color in the center of my lip. To finish off this lip look, I'm going to take the Illuminati lip oil. This one has a really hydrating finish and I think it's going to complement our dewy look really well. This lip oil feels amazing. And I feel like it really ties in that full dewy look from the cheek to the lip to the eye. I love it. All right, my friends, and here is the completed look. I feel so dewy and fresh faced, and I really feel like we took the clean girl aesthetic and tweaked it a little bit, so it's not just bronze tones, but we incorporated a fun pop of color. And that's the whole joy of makeup, is having fun with it, so don't be afraid to pick up your color eyeshadow and get down with it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to IPSY's YouTube channel down below. And let me know what you thought of this look. Will you be trying it out in the new year? Because I'm sure gonna repeat this again. I really love the pastel eye. Let us know in the comments below if you guys want to see more tutorials on how to use the products in your glam bag. Bye!